This is Dave Learns AI, a Taptico Solutions podcast. I'm Dave Clapper, diving into the real-world ways AI is changing business, creativity, and how we work. No fluff, no jargon, just practical insights and experiments you can learn from right alongside me.
Oh, Dave Learns AI.
Okay,
so that's where I said, why am I wearing cowboy boots and where did grandma go?
I love how we start podcasts, man. Every time. There we are. All right, Dave Learning AI here. Dave Learns AI. I can't even talk. Look at that.
Hello.
Dave Learns AI. Hey guys, we are here. Want to real quickly let everybody know, here's what we're going to cover today. I got a DM from somebody the other day, an old friend of mine who owns a small business, and he was like, hey man, I know I have to use AI, but dude, I really have nowhere. I don't know where to start. I just don't know where to start. And that is the probably number one question we get, or the number one concern we get in being in this AI world. Not only aren't you afraid it's going to take your job, but like, all right, I know I need to do it, but I don't know where to start. And that's what we're going to talk about today. And today's episode is, where do I begin? Kind of going really back to the basics. One of the things that we've learned so much in such a small amount of time, and we've been doing this now almost a year. We've been doing the podcast for about 9 months, and we've learned so much. And I find that oftentimes we start talking on levels that are not for the faint of heart, or where we start talking about coding and we start talking about agents and we start talking about, things that to people, the novices, the ones that are overwhelmed going, I know I have to do this, but I don't know where to start, where we're just losing them on some of the conversations. So we're kind of going back to the basics. We all have friends that have small businesses. I was talking to the guy who cuts my, why are you laughing?
We all have friends that have small businesses. I don't know why. I just didn't think.
I almost got offended right there. I was almost offended.
I was almost mad at you, Dave, for calling me out right here in public.
No offense, Tribble. But I was talking to the guy who's cutting my grass yesterday, and he owns a landscaping company, and I was just talking to him about it, and the same thing. He's like, I don't even know what it'll do. I don't even know how it will help, and that's ultimately where we're at right now. So, there's so many different kind of directions on where to go, but we do know that everybody starts light, and they start with ChatGPT because that's the gateway drug, and we've talked about it on the show a bunch. And I would say 9 out of 10 people that I talk to that say they are engaging with AI are utilizing ChatGPT in one way or another. And ChatGPT has come a long way. And the models that are out there for ChatGPT are so much better than they were 3 or 4 months ago. So it's a decent place to start, right?
I was just letting you go, man. I mean,
I want some other people to join me here. I'm doing all the talking, but
I know. I was just like, wow. Do I need to can I take a nap? Can I go shave this tufts of beard hair because I missed it?
Yeah, you missed a couple
spots. You can't unsee it.
It's there now, son of a bitch.
So why?
He's great.
Do what? ChatGPT's great. Although I have been seeing in the news lately, like there's this movement to dethrone Sam Altman, and
he's been dethroned
and discredit him.
Well, he's kind of an evil dude if you look at things holistically.
What makes you say that?
Evil dude. He's in it for money. He is financially driven. I would say that.
I mean, so is 75% of the world, right? Or 80% of the world.
Absolutely. I know I am. I can't do OnlyFans anymore. I'm getting too fat.
Well, I mean, even your toes, because aren't you like a shoe model or something like that on OnlyFans?
Well, that was a shoe model only. No, it's feet model. Shoe models are strippers, Dave.
Oh, okay.
His specialty is the bottom of the foot. It's not the top. It's just the bottom of the foot that people are just like,
check out my plantar fasciitis, baby.
I wonder though, because we're so close to this business and we're reading about, this witch hunt for Sam Altman, and we're like, oh, he's the evil guy now, and so we're closer to the storylines. The average person probably has no clue what we're talking about when it comes to Sam Altman. A lot of people probably don't even know he's the CEO and where he came from and his practices. But what's come out in the news is that like he can't tell the truth about anything. He's backdooring deals. He like you said, he's kind of got this evil control thing going on now that he's a part of, like the largest AI tool that's out there at this particular point, or at least the most recognizable.
Yeah. Well, actually, Dario Amodei, do y'all know that name? That
Anthropic.
is the Anthropic CEO. And Anthropic, so Anthropic has taken over ChatGPT because people that pay attention saw that Anthropic basically wouldn't allow the Pentagon to use their AI in war to kill people, which completely fine. OpenAI, Sam Altman was like, we will. Here you go. We'll take that
Government
$4 billion
contract.
contract.
Government contract. Yep. We'll
We'll
sign.
do
Where
it.
do we sign?
Absolutely. Someone's going to, but so a lot of people left for that. But OpenAI started as an open source business, a nonprofit, and Elon Musk was a co-founder, and he co-founded it to democratize technology. Elon's rich enough; he doesn't care about money at this point. It's a number that's unfathomable how much he has. So
I
Sam
did see
Altman's
that.
not.
I did see part of that witch hunt is Elon Musk suing Sam Altman, and then he is pretty sure that he's going to win this thing, and everything he makes from it, he's already said he's gonna donate to a charity. I don't remember what charity.
Yeah, what does he care?
Yeah, like
He could give away $1 trillion and still have $1 trillion. So, um, but yeah, so it really depends. Everything gets bent, and like you're calling it a witch hunt. So you probably heard that on some, I don't know where you heard that term. It's just an investigation. Like it's not a witch hunt, really. That's lambastic adjective for an investigation. Um, Elon Musk is also being investigated, so it's like they're going back and forth. So
yeah,
who
is he being
knows?
investigated or is it a witch hunt? That's the question.
Elon probably being investigated.
Yeah.
Sam
I feel
Altman.
like once you reach like $20 billion in net worth, you're just automatically investigated at all times. Like it's just like, oh, yep, he's under investigation, like for the
So
rest of your
I'm
life.
off topic, but I've got a friend that is a high net worth individual, and he would get investigations put on him all the time. And a lot of times, he was like, it's typically the government that's saying, hey, you should investigate them because, and I don't know if this is correct or not. So this is all hearsay, but he said uh, the anonymous tip could be called into like the local FBI office or wherever, or the SEC, and say, hey, there's some stuff you guys should look at for this business. And then they're under investigation. So then they have to have their lawyers, and they spend all this money on lawyers, and it's typically unfounded, but the government doesn't care, and they'll keep you in court for years, wasting your time and energy and brain space and happiness just for whatever reason.
This
Sometimes
is
they
what you
find stuff. Sometimes they find stuff and don't do anything about it.
This is
So,
what you call a tangent. So ultimately, we're going to go back to small businesses and how to utilize, or at least where to start when it comes to AI. Listen, there are 3 reasons why people stall when it comes to like implementing AI in their business. I mean, tool overload because they don't know which tool to use, and that's why a lot of people.
also, the first name of Dave Learns AI, we're going to call this tool overload.
And that's why a lot of people have stuck with ChatGPT is because it's low hanging fruit. They grab it and they're like, oh, okay, I could see what it does. But tool overload, especially when you're talking about a small business going, okay, I know it can do all this stuff, but I don't know how to make this system talk to this system. I don't really know what my return on investment is here. What am I looking for when it comes to an ROI, when it comes to utilizing AI? And then the other thing is fear of doing it wrong. I mean, part of the issue is the media has talked about, well, if you're relying on AI to answer your questions or run your business, you're giving the keys to somebody that can't really see the road while they're driving. Maybe you shouldn't do that. So there's that fear of, okay, if I put too much into it, is it going to give me information that is wrong that's not going to help me in the way that it should? So those are typically three big reasons why people get stuck and don't get started on utilizing AI.
I guess you don't need us here then.
Yeah,
So
but you're think about how we all started with our foray into before you started the business, before you came on, Dave, me. ChatGPT was this thing you heard about, and we all dipped our toe in with using it. Like, hey, like let's see what it can do for me. And the way I liken it to is it was just a super powered Google. Because Google, you get lost in pages, you get lost in, is this correct? Sponsored ads, all that stuff, which is probably coming to LLMs. But in the first instance of researching, you're like, wow, this is super powerful and it's giving me exactly what I want for the most part. And I think, Dave, to your point, I just tell people just start. Like, I don't care what the LLM is. I don't know if you heard it from here. Like, download it, put it on your phone, engage with it. And once people break the seal, then at least they have the chance to where they're going to go deeper and they can experience the power of it.
So, I was doing a little bit of research for this episode, and just to be able to talk a little bit specifically about small businesses and what they're running into, and trying to figure out, okay, how do we as professionals, how do we coach somebody through this? Now, obviously, we with Taptico Solutions and Taptico AI, we want to be your solution. We want to be able to implement this stuff for you, teach you how to use it, or like we say, we learned AI so you don't have to. So, if the big rub is I just don't want to deal with it, don't worry, you don't have to. We can do it. But three of the main starting points I think are the most important is for a small business person, an owner, a CEO, a marketing person, whatever, is to audit your pain. Like what's eating your time or costing you deals right now? Like what is in the way of success? And understanding that for any small business is important for growth. And so it's 10 times more important for growth when it comes to AI, because if your competition is competent with AI, they're going to ask the same questions and they're going to use the tools to be able to help answer those questions, right? I think step two is one tool, one problem. Don't build a whole stack. Solve one thing at a time, right?
are questions going to be involved in this? Because I
Well,
feel
this
like you're
is
just kind of.
I'm not interviewing. This is where we talk about things, guys. And what I've noticed so far as we've gotten into this episode is nobody's really come with anything to say. I keep talking, and then so
You
I'm
know,
just gonna.
so we do prep on this, and prep was Dave was supposed to say, "Hey Nick, how do you recommend people start?" And I was supposed to say, "Hey, start small, start with one tool." But Dave's just reading the entire document, top to bottom. So we
There's
actually
no
do work on these for about
there.
3 minutes because we have producer Paul, who's an AI agent.
We do have a producer
Um,
that helps us with this.
yeah, so Dave's just reading producer Paul's notes to you guys. So I'm gonna be working over here. Let me know when I need to do this. Go, Dave.
Hey,
Demo.
Nick, let me ask you this though, really, in all honesty, because as we're talking about this and not only telling people or showing people a little bit behind our curtain on how we utilize it, like look at step three when it comes to step three of starting your framework. We talk about one tool, one problem. We talk about audit your pain, and what's the third?
Oh, you asking me that question?
Yeah.
Let's see here. Segment 3, the live segment 2. What's the third? Oh, no clear ROI, Dave.
No, that wasn't
Obvious.
even it, dude. You're not even following. Steal before you build is the third one. Okay, so you use you use what already exists, and I think one of the reasons why we wanted to talk about that is because at taptico.com we have some tools and we have access to tools that can help you come up with a game plan. I think that's ultimately where that concept um, comes into fruition.
So, yeah. So one tool at a time. Once you start learning one tool, you master that tool, you move on. I can't even learn all the tools. I haven't really delved. I
Nice,
haven't
Tribble.
really looked at Claude Cowork too much. I've played around on it. I know it's fantastic. I just don't have enough time because I'm building out our other stuff on proprietary stuff. So we're building from scratch. But the easiest thing that you can do as a newbie to AI is just pick one tool and get good at it. They're all going to be very similar. So if you get good and comfortable in one tool, um, the skills that you acquire using that tool are going to transfer over to the other tools. You
Well, let's
talk to
call one
Claude,
out.
OpenAI, you talk to ChatGPT, all that.
Yeah, what would you recommend? Let's just say a basic small business owner, like a wellness spot. They've heard of AI. Where would you recommend that they start?
For them, I would recommend getting a good sense of where your business sits, competitive analysis, all that stuff. We talked about this a couple
Auditing your
episodes.
pain.
Yep, auditing your pain. So for me, it's on the marketing side, you have to know who you're up against. So Perplexity is where I would start. Perplexity is a really good job of research. It gets you the data that you need. It literally in real time can figure out like who your competitors are in your market. If you're a business owner that does, I don't know, give me a business, bicycles, right? How many bike shops are within 5 miles of me? How much do they spend on media? How much do they spend on advertising? Perplexity can find all that stuff for you and put together, hey, this is what they're doing. They're not spending any money. Their Google business profile is terrible. You should, you should build out your GBP, to make it good. You can get to the top of the search engine page. Here's what you should do for AEO, So Perplexity is what I would say is the one you would start with. Now, as the tools mature, they're going to get more and more easy to deal with and work with. Um, that's just because they need mass adoption to make money. Right
Hey,
now, they're
Nick.
all yeah.
Nick, I got a couple questions for you, or even Tribble. We'll ask Tribble this question since Nick, you were just talking. But Tribble, you owned cryo. What do you call that? A cryo
Cryotherapy
studio?
wellness studio. Yep.
Okay. So you owned it for a little while, and now you owned it kind of pre-AI. If you were to go back and start that business again, like as the business owner, as a small business owner, and now having the knowledge that you have in regards to AI and the tools that are out there, what do you think would be your first your first target within AI and how to utilize it in order to establish your business?
Like Nick said, you got to know who you are and then who your competition is, because you got to know where your dark spots are or your pain. So if we're talking about, if I didn't really have that knowledge that I have now, and I was just kind of dipping my toe in, I would start with where I could save time. The part of my problem with that business was I needed people that could run the business, and so that I could be out working on the business and not in the business. And so a lot of times marketing would be something that would come up, content, like basic content stuff. And it was hard to find help to do that. So instead of searching for ideas or spending so much time on figuring out what to do, I would AI would bridge that gap to pretty much tell me what to do. So it really cut off 70% of that work of having to do, what do I do? With AI, it tells you what to do with pretty good accuracy, and then you go execute on that. And what we've discovered is the next level of agents that do it for you. So, I mean, that's a whole nother story. But yeah, I would lean on AI to tell me what to do through research, through questioning it, through prompts, and save a lot of time on, being able to actually execute.
Nick, I know one of your mantras is show don't tell. That's an important thing, is not telling somebody that you can do it, instead showing that you can do it. And Tribble, I can see it.
Triple just flexed in the camera, everybody.
For our
Show,
listeners,
don't
For our
tell.
listen.
He just showed. So Nick, tell us a little bit about some of the tools that you could show that would be beneficial for a small business who's trying to figure out where to start, and the things that you've built.
So the first one, and I won't focus on this one because it's my favorite. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce you to Disco Dave.
Hey,
That is me.
Yes.
And by the way, I am dressed that way because
This is Disco Dave. We don't need any explanation,
no,
Dave.
I need
not
to explain.
AI. It is
I,
not AI,
I need to
surprisingly.
explain. I need to explain. Actually, hold on a second.
That's right. He is wearing eyeliner, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep. And he's
Disco
wasted in
Dave.
the photo. Look at that eye.
No, he's not. He's actually with his
Okay,
family.
that
I
is
know the
part of
story.
the whole family photo on a Disney cruise, right there. So I was dressed. Look at my kids. They like. All right, yeah, and there I am. So, in my defense, it was just me being a cool dad, but
Why do you have a picture of Disco Dave in your house? So this is
anyway.
really cool, right? So we're still putting this should be working by the time this episode comes out. We're still putting the back end touches on this, but this is a voice agent that literally you call this phone number and you talk to Disco Dave. We've captured Dave's silky voice and put it into a voice agent that interviews you to figure out how AI can help your business. So I'm going to play along, and I've been testing this and it knows me now. So now if I say Nick and then I give my email, I'll be like, whoa, this must be a test because Nick, I know you built me. Like, what's going on here? Are you testing the back end?
Before we get into more on Disco Dave, well, there is a tool that's on our website right now that I think it's pretty cool for everybody to see, and that is our Smart Start. So Smart Start is a tool that we've created that is available on our website. And Disco Dave is kind of the same thing, but a voice opportunity to communicate with somebody in the sense of actually being able to have a conversation. So ultimately, what I want to do is I'll go to our website, and for those who are just listening, you go to the YouTube version and you can see what we're going through. But so anyway, this is our website. There's a lot of great resources on here, and one of those things happens to be the Smart Start. So what we're going to do is go down here and you can see the free startup guide. Actually free tools. Here we go. Smart Start. Can you see my screen there, Tribble?
Yep.
So the Smart Start is simple. You start a free chat. And it just allows you to go through, answer questions. I think it went to a different screen. So let me share something else here. Here we go. So ultimately, what it's doing is it's prompting to ask you some questions about your business. And the reason why we're bringing up these tools is because the question remains, if I'm a small business and I don't know where to start, we're going to give you a free opportunity to learn where you can start. And this doesn't mean there's any obligation to utilize our services at all.
Yeah. What I like about that, Dave, is prompting is so important because you need to know how to talk to them. With Smart Start, you just talk to it like it's a regular person, like it's an advanced chat bot, and you don't need to know. It'll ask you the questions to get the information that it needs.
And ultimately, it will not only, yes, it's a lead gen for us in the sense of, hey, you're a small business and you need some questions answered, and we'll answer those questions, or we can do it for you. But it is also just a great jumping off point for a small business to just go in and go, I don't know where to begin, and give them the opportunity to actually show where to begin. So one of the tools.
So I asked Bo, who is our orchestration agent that leads all of our agents, which is all these guys. And I say, hey, why isn't Disco Dave working? And I said, okay, we need to not reference Tactical OS to bring CRE agency. Disco Dave is not permitted to make assumptions in the first 90 seconds of a call. Change the script immediately. So I dumped this in our Discord right now as we're talking, sitting here. They're going to make the changes in another tool called 11 Labs that houses Dave's voice and that voice agent. We trained the tool in 11 Labs, but our AI tool ecosystem has access to it, so it goes over there and it literally fixes it for us while we wait. This is Nate is our N8N agent. N8N is an automation tool. And I was trying to figure out why Disco Dave wasn't plugging in the back end. They literally diagnosed why. This is why we need to deploy this server. Easy fix. It's 30-second fix. But instead of me spending 20 minutes trying to figure out what was wrong, I just asked them, hey, what's wrong with this? And it tells me.
It's amazing.
That's the kind of stuff that AI can do.
It's amazing. What's the one thing that made AI click for you, Tribble? Not the concept, but the moment it actually became useful in your day. And then we're going to go back to Nick to present Disco Dave again and have him really talk to us.
Moment that I knew it was real for me was when I started using it more than Google. When I went to it for my main information source because of how efficient it is and how it delivers the information from questions that I have or information that I need to get, when I started naturally wanting to use, and mine was ChatGPT, just like most people. When I started going to ChatGPT more than I went to Google to look for answers, that's when I knew it clicked. That's when the penny dropped. The first time around, the second paradigm shift for me, and maybe we're not talking about this during this episode, was when agents came on board and we saw that not only was it providing me information, but it was going and saying, hey, I just did this for you. You wanted this, it's done.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. Nick, are we ready to rock and roll with Disco Dave?
It's still updating. Here's another thing I want to start coin. I'm going to coin this term.
Please do. I like when you coin new terms.
Pennies dropping.
AI entitlement.
AI entitlement.
AI entitlement. So once you guys start using these tools, you're going to get spoiled. I'm just calling it now. You're going to get spoiled just like we all have. David Clapper here spent the better part of 7 months building a beautiful custom piece of software for one of our clients. Due to technical reasons, we had to migrate that off of where we built it onto something else, something we built from scratch. David's 7 months of work had to be lifted. Their code had to be lifted and extracted from this massive company's grasps and put into our little code base. And it had to go smoothly, rebuild, look exactly the same. He had literally wired it up. It looked like a NASA space shuttle with all the wires, all the buttons. I mean, very, very complex on the back end. On the user side, very simple. We're making AI simple. AI entitlement. Dave put 7 months of hours, rigorous frustration work. Scroll down on our Instagram feed. You'll see Dave building this thing out. There's a
I think I did
moment.
this.
Yeah. He's like, oh, that's him trying to figure out how to build this thing, right? Now he's got the skill. So now it's second nature. You can do it in 30 seconds. AI entitlement. I was using our tools that we built from scratch to completely rebuild this website from scratch to look exactly the same with everything. And it took like 4 or 5 hours going back and forth. Dave is like, why isn't this done yet? I'm like, that's AI entitlement, because you get so used to things getting done instantly that something that used to take a year and a half, no exaggeration, to get done, or 7 months of Dave spending hours and hours and hours. It took 4 hours, and it was only like DNS and like technical glitches. It wasn't the website design or anything. It was security protocol stuff that was holding us up. So the fact that that's why AI entitlement is my new coin term, because I just send off one prompt to our tool, and in real time, Dave's like, is it done yet? Is it updated? And I haven't lifted a finger. But to answer your question, I believe that it is. Let me double check.
Let's check it out.
All right. So
Come on, Disco Dave.
let's go.
Let's see that picture of him again.
Okay.
Hey, Disco Dave here, AI assistant for Taptico. And yes, I am an AI, but the good kind. I wanted to grab a few minutes to learn about your situation. Who am I talking to?
My name is Hal.
I'm all ears. What's your name?
Hal. Hal. Hal.
Got it, Hal. Nice to meet you. So tell me, what kind of business are you running?
Hal's hot dog stand.
Oh man, that's awesome. So you're running a hot dog stand. Like, is this a brick and mortar spot, food truck catering, or something else? And how long have you been at it?
Yeah, it's a food truck right now, but we set up, summertime, we set up around a hot spot in New Jersey, right there on the what do you call it? The turnpike? No, it's where they all walk. The boardwalk. Turnpike. Unbelievable. Yeah, we set it right on the side of the highway. Classic trip.
Setup. Summer season.
Sorry,
Yeah,
Disco Dave. Yeah.
So when you're out, no worries at all. So when you're running the truck during summer season on the boardwalk, what's giving you the most headache right now? Like, what part of the operation is eating up your time or keeping you up at night?
I'll tell you, we run out of hot dogs too quick, and our truck is small, so we need to figure out inventory and how to keep the hot dogs fresh because they're never frozen. That's how hot dogs promise. We're legendary hot dogs on the boardwalk, and I need help. One, like letting tourists know that we exist. All the locals love us, but we're kind of in a tucked away spot. But the second thing is like, how do I get fresh hot dogs and like quickly so that we don't run out and we don't have to break people's hearts when they come to get a house hot dog, especially the 12-incher.
Okay, I hear you. So you've got two things happening. One is getting the word out to tourists so they actually find you. And the other is the supply chain piece, keeping fresh inventory flowing so you're never caught short. That's real. When you say you run out too quick, are we talking you're selling out by mid-afternoon? Or is it more that you can't restock fast enough during the day? And when you do need to restock, how are you getting fresh hot dogs to the truck right now?
Yeah, right now we need to work on your intonation there, Disco Dave. But I would say that we just sell out too quick. We can't keep them stocked because our truck is only so big, so we can only stock 500 at a time. And then we have the fryers and the boilers and the bread toasters and the buns and all of the other accoutrements that go along with the house hot dog, famous 12-incher. So we need to figure out ways to, like, right now, if we run out, we just have to close our shop down, and we are losing a ton of business because we just don't have the way to get fresh hot dogs from our factory where we make them in Hoboken to our boardwalk store. Can you help? Does AI do that? Huh?
Got it. So you're making them fresh in Hoboken, which is amazing for quality, but the logistics of getting them to the truck before you run out is the real problem. You hit capacity, can't restock fast enough, then you have to shut down and leave money on the table. So here's what I'm curious about. When you do run out during the day, how often is that happening? Like, are we talking every single day in peak season?
Yes, Disco Dave. Yes, no. Disco Dave, every day, every mid-afternoon by 3:00, we're out. And then we get that the post-lunch pre-dinner snack crowd. We can't serve them, Disco Dave. And Disco Dave, I need AI to tell me how to do it.
All right, Hal. I hear the urgency, and I get it. Serious money at the table every single day at the exact moment when people want to buy. Here's the thing, though. Before I start throwing ideas at you, I need to understand your world a bit better. Do you have a budget set aside this year for tools or services that could help solve this? And are you looking to move on something like this pretty soon? Or are you still in the research phase?
Disco Dave, I need help now, and I will pay whatever. So we sell every hot dog for $7. That is a gross margin of 60%. So I'm willing to cut into my margins at least 10%. So you can do the math on this. We sell 5,000 hot dogs a day, and that's by 3:00. We could sell another 2,000 hot dogs a day if we had some sort of AI system that could get our orders done quicker and deliveries done faster. Because right now we have to call, Johnny, my nephew, that holds down the fort in Hoboken, to drive out, and he's got to shut down the factory, and it's a hassle. It's a hassle for Hal's hot dogs. So Disco Dave, how can AI help me?
Okay, Hal. I'm doing the math, and this is real money we're talking about. 5,000 a day at $7 is 35,000 a day in revenue, and you're saying you could add another 14,000 if the supply chain wasn't broken. That's serious. Here's what I need to know before we go further, though. Who else at Howell's hot dog stand is involved in decisions like this? Is it just you and Johnny?
Just me, Disco Dave. Just me. It's
You know what?
Hot Dog Hal.
I have to say, as much as I want to hear what his solution is,
Here's what I'm hearing.
What?
As much
I
as I
can't
want to
hear you.
hear what his solution is, the intuitiveness of the conversation is pretty cool. That's somebody who's actually listening. I get stuck in phone trees all the time, especially AT&T. I was in a phone tree, and
Sorry, Disco Dave, real human Dave interrupted.
yeah, I'm taking over. But that conversation that you typically have in those settings with those chat bots that are out there are like, "Oh, all right, they're painful. Just give me an operator. Just give me an operator. You're not answering any of my questions. Just give me an operator." So it's pretty cool. That's one of the tools that you built, Nick, and
Well,
that's
Dave, let me stop you there, because what Dave is doing is identifying real actual use cases. So what Disco Dave would then do, had you not interrupted, would be to put together very customized solutions that are absolutely free and say, here are some tools that you could use or some options that you could have to implement your business, Hot Dog Hal.
so. Does that come in an email? Does that go directly to the
It
caller
can
then?
go through a text, an email, however you wish it to come to you.
That's amazing.
All these things would have been shown had we not interrupted.
Yeah.
But all of that stuff it's completely, it's literally just kind of dipping your toe in the water. Give Disco Dave a call, answer the questions. A human would ask the same questions if they're doing a good job, because we're here to diagnose problems, right? So you have to tell us what hurts, and then we'll build a solution around it. So that's what Disco Dave was doing. Probably didn't make for good content, but building massive hot dog empires is always a win.
I mean, to think about $35,000 worth of hot dogs before he runs out. I mean, that's a darn good business plan. Hey, listen, for somebody who's watching this right now who still hasn't started using AI, give them one sentence that gets them to open up their browser tab after this episode to give it a shot. One sentence.
Tapscode.com.
Well, you can find a lot of answers there. Taptico.com. We are Taptico Solutions. Dave Learns AI. Nick and Tribble have a bunch of solutions for you, and I'm apparently just the voiceover for Disco Dave. But follow us on our social medias. We got a new hire that we're excited about. We'll probably introduce maybe next week on the call.
Hold on, I gotta get the thumbnail for. Hold on. This is the YouTube thumbnail, right?
All right,
Nailed it.
we're gonna try and get that. All right, guys. Thank you for taking the time. It looks like Tribble's got to get out of the box he's in there. Somebody's like waiting for their turn or something. He looks
Yeah.
nervous, or he has to poo. I don't know what's
My,
happening.
my butt's hurting. It's
Oh
been
my
a
God.
stool.
For that.
All
All
right,
right, fellas. Well, good times. I love you both.
All right,
Love
boys.
y'all.
Till next time. See you.
Bye.
This is Dave Learns AI, a Taptico Solutions podcast. I'm Dave Clapper, diving into the real-world ways AI is changing business, creativity, and how we work. No fluff, no jargon, just practical insights and experiments you can learn from right alongside me.
Oh,